trying to survive in the wild. You have to use your imagination. A bunch of discarded boards and buoys. You can make a little raft to gather food from other islands. It was so relaxing. If you're lucky, you might even meet a porcupine. No skill at all. If this arrow passes, it will scare it off. Gotta say, this tree-climbing porcupine. The meat quality is really much better than usual. Suddenly feel the elbow in the hand is not fragrant. How about we keep seeing what's going on with Alpha Team? No one thought Tanya would be in danger. She was unconscious when the doctor came. I'm glad I can respond to pain. She needs to stay awake right now. Cover yourself with anything warm. Tanya's health was already very weak. Had to be taken to a hospital. Trey didn't think it would go this far. If we don't take care of this any later, and we might have had a spot on the table. Tanya felt sorry for Trey. Team Alpha is over for good. I hope he can join the new team soon. When Tanya wakes up again, she was already on a stretcher. Then I realized that I had lost the challenge. The mood was pretty low. Fortunately, the problem is not too big. He recovered after some treatment. Tanya will keep praying for Trey. I hope he can successfully complete the challenge. Do you think Trey's gonna make it to the new team? The challenge continues on the 15th day. It was horribly cold last night. Bravo team even huddled close to the fire. People will still be shivering. The worst part is that the firewood runs out quickly. It takes a lot of time and effort to collect. I can't even handle Drake being so strong. There's no way a blanket can hold it back. Everyone's mental state is pretty bad. Delta, that's way too comfortable. After all, get Charlie's supplies back. Not worried about the cold at night. Brendan was lying right on the rock, by the heat of the fire. He sleeps better than anyone else. I wish I had more whiskey. The firewood at camp needs to be piled up so that everyone can feel the warmth. Joey is glad to have joined the new team. If we stay on Charlie's team, we'll freeze into popsicles. He's trying to prove himself and avoid being thrown out. Trey's got to be the worst of it. He didn't expect all his teammates to leave. Then we have to find a way to join the new team. He didn't think his next-door neighbor Bravo was good. Make it to the other side before dark and join the new team. Trey doesn't have much time. Most importantly, he brought supplies. This is harder than Bree migrating over. I have to fire a flare for Tanya before I leave. It was pretty hard for Trey. When the challenge is over, he will definitely be there. I hope everything goes well. The others were so excited when they heard the flare. Again, the focus is on Alpha Team. Since aligning with Team Bravo, Trey's never seen any of them. I don't feel any kindness at all. Just when I thought Trey was headed to the other side, I didn't think he'd put another flare on. Start yourself on Alpha Team. Then it should end with Alpha Team. And so Trey decided to quit the challenge. Visit Tanya at the hospital. Bravo did not notice the second flare. Still immersed in making gold shovels. Trey was going to hide the supplies before he left. If it's not for the show, it's not allowed. I would have thrown these things overboard. At least not so easy for them. Trey left words condemning them. And so the Alpha Team ended without anyone caring. He only wants the winning team. It's about winning money the right way. The challenge continued on day 18. I woke up in the morning to a different sound. That's the sound of the show dropping off supplies. They would drop boxes in the sea near the camp. They'll be at every camp. In theory, each team gets 2 supplies. If we don't get it soon, the box will drift further and further away. You know, it's only 2 degrees. You really freeze your own brother to the ground. And no one told them. What's in here? While everyone's still wondering what to do, Brendan had stripped off to get into the water. He doesn't think there's anything wrong with him. The water is colder than I thought. I'm starting to lose feeling in my fingers and toes. Brendan struggled to bring the supplies back to shore. If you can, I really don't want to experience it again. Eric was very moved by that. Team Bravo got lucky. At least try to get it back with a stick. Fortunately, the case didn't drift too far. Drake can barely reach it back. Now let's see what supplies the show has prepared. When I opened the box, I found 2 sleeping bags inside. This helps them withstand the cold at night. Other things can be collected. I might be able to use it later. Emily thought it could be a boat. I'm sure there's no problem sitting on it. I wonder if this net will catch any fish. People are not satisfied with the show team supplies. There's so many of them. How can 2 be enough? I'm gonna head over to Alpha Team. I wonder if the supplies are all the same. Team Bravo didn't notice the flare. Thought I'd take care of an ally this time. See if he can help them. Drake thought the show gave him the wrong supplies. Maybe those sleeping bags are for Team Alpha. He really took the show crew seriously. In fact, we all get that much. I just don't realize how dangerous the show is. When they came to the Alpha camp, found supplies left behind by low tide. This side of the camp is all cleared out. There's obviously no one left here. When did the flare go off? They were totally unaware of it. Anyway, there's only 2 teams left, okay. Team Bravo was so excited. They are sure that they will win the prize money. I thought there was nothing left. I didn't expect to see a knife. It's Trey's legacy of confidence. Drew didn't think Trey was going to do that. They have not abandoned their allies. I just can't come here every day. The team also has a lot of things to do. Drake felt very wronged. He cares about Team Alpha too. Just recently indulged in the manufacture of gold shovels. Next up, Bravo's looking for what Trey left behind. These are very important to them. I don't know where Trey might be hiding. One by one, that is in a hurry. They used up a lot of energy when they got here. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it. Even Drake's temper says hello. Trey's family is healthy again. Just try to find as special a place as possible. If you can't find it, they'll have to go to camp first. Drake was wondering if it was in a tree. I was surprised it was different over here. Sure enough, they found supplies inside. Everything is here. Drew is very sorry for Team Alpha. They take the supplies and win the prize. In fact, even if I came to visit more, the Alphas won't last long. After packing up your things, see if the inside of the box is the same. No surprises. Just 2 sleeping bags. Looks like the show just wanted them to come and get it. Anyway, Bravo's got a lot to show for it, right? I mean, Delta's got a lot on their side. But they are confident they can win this challenge. It's just a matter of who can't handle the flares first. We talked about it all the way back. What should I do with my winnings? Drake wants to fight the other side sooner. Who do you think is the favorite team to win? Brendan felt very sick in his body. If they were to be eliminated for that material, it's a little hard to take in. Everyone wants Brendan to get better. A strong man like him still feels cold. The situation is very bad. It could be life-threatening if not handled properly. You know, we should call a doctor right now. Brendan doesn't want to go out like that. He says he's just not feeling well. You don't need a doctor at all. Yes, but everyone knows it's not easy. We have to find a way to make him better. Drew, they're back at camp. Tell everyone that the Alphas are out. All the supplies are packed and brought back. This surprised Bree. Who would have thought there would only be 2 teams left? Bring back something that will make the team better off. It also means the next. It's just a matter of who can hold out longer. If we're going to beat Delta, Emily thought she had to be prepared. See if you can get more out of it. At night, Brendan didn't choose to use a sleeping bag. He felt that his body could resist it. Joseph was rather worried about that. And Drew and his crew are still trying to figure out how to end the challenge. Normally, it takes a month or 2 to decide a champion. The best thing to do is to sabotage the other side. It's just that the price to pay will be particularly high. I wonder who gets there first. Day 19 of the challenge. Eric would love to have a gold shovel right now. It'll make digging for clams a lot easier. As the weather gets colder and colder, the food we get so far is not enough for the team. I mean, everyone's on the Delta team, but that doesn't mean you're going to share it. At least get your stomach full. Eric thought people would forgive him. After all, he's the captain and the oldest. Just enjoy all the clams in the open. No one expected him to be so selfish. Not even a single clam has been shared. You know, whoever got the food before, it's all thrown in the pot and shared. People are getting more and more upset with Eric. Brendan jumped into the water for the supplies. And he's doing it for the team. I don't even have a mouthful of soup. The angriest thing was when Eric asked why everyone was so quiet. Good guy is really turning the world upside down. Brendan was right in his face. I didn't know there was someone so brazen around. The atmosphere in the team is getting tense again. There's another rat cake in Bravo's trap. Traps do work, but there's so little meat. There's only so much to be had. Emily thinks Sammy should eat it himself, as much as Sammy wanted to share it with her. But I don't care much about the meat. Now I just want to boil some more water. She wanted to finish the raft early and go to the next island. The distance is not very far. If there's food there to eat, it was a huge boost for the team. I was hoping you could help get it out. We need to finish the quest before Delta does, even though it's only 500 meters from the island. But most of the time you have to swim against the current. Drew thinks it's okay to just use the board. Emily's too light to worry about sinking anyway. She wanted to do better. After all, I'm going into the water. We have to make sure it's all right. Actually, Drew's been around boats since he was a kid. The experience on the water is very rich. There was really no need for him to go there. I'm guessing the food harvest isn't as much energy as the back and forth. Bree thought it might as well wait out the tide. It's a little risky going over there now, although the team didn't exactly approve of Emily's approach. But I helped get the raft on the shore. I feel like I'm being left behind, but that's okay. She's got a lot to prove. The raft went much better than expected. It's just that the stroke is a little slow. With everyone's encouragement, Emily took the time to row to the island. It'll be dark in less than 4 hours. Let's hope she makes it through this expedition. Let's take a look at Brendan. He feels much better already. There are plenty of porcupine traces around. See if you can get your head back to eat. Observe your surroundings carefully. Hopefully soon enough to find a porcupine. They also sometimes run into trees and rub against each other. Brendan thinks there's a good chance of finding out. After all, his home is right here on his feet. I looked around, and there was a porcupine on it. It's still climbing up? A porcupine who worked so hard must be rewarded. Brendan picked up the bow and took aim, so the porcupine fell. That made him very happy. It's been a long time since we've hunted a porcupine. He can't wait to take it home and show it off. I can't wait for them to praise me. Emily is getting closer and closer to the island. It took more energy than I thought. I ended up with no energy to row. The raft can only be pushed towards the island by feet, even if it says it made it to the island. But she's running out of time to explore. Emily doesn't know what to eat here, does she? It took a long time to find some wild vegetables. If this continues, it's like walking away empty-handed, you know. Drake was looking across, worried about Emily having problems. Be ready to fire your flares. I don't know how many places I've been on the island. Finally found the apple tree. These are precious food for everyone. Not that big, though, but at least it'll get some energy into your system. Just as she was about to leave this place, I suddenly noticed a shrimp trap over here. I don't suppose it's from someone who came before. It's not going to be easy to get this back. It takes a lot more time and effort. Emily insisted on taking it back, though, less than half an hour before dark. My teammates were pretty anxious about it. Now I see her heading for the raft. This trap is way too heavy. Emily had to stop for a rest. The weather changes a little fast. The resistance against the current is stronger than we thought. It's going to take a lot longer to get back to camp. And Brendan has returned to camp with the porcupine. People didn't expect him to be so strong. I call him the strongest hunter of the season. Are curious to know how this was hunted. Joseph thinks Brendan should hold this leg tight. It's up to him to eat meat. The next step is to get rid of the porcupine. Although Eric chose to eat alone, but Brendan will still feed him. After all, I'm still kind. Once the porcupine hair is off, it's a lot easier to handle. The porcupine meat is cooked straight over the fire. Stew the innards and legs in a separate pot. Eric thought he needed to do some soul searching. Everyone else is willing to share the porcupine. You don't even give anyone soup. That was selfish enough. You have to change yourself in the future. Thanks to Brendan for giving him a chance. Let's hope Eric really does change, or he's going to wipe out the team sooner or later. They also want to know how Team Bravo is doing. Emily's still out there struggling. From time to time, the lobster cage would fall into the water. The situation is bad enough. She wanted to throw it in the water. Just try to change the position. It really affects the efficiency of rowing. The tide kept pushing Emily to the other side. We're going to drift to Delta if we keep this up. Emily's freaking out right now. It looks like it's getting dark soon. People were too nervous to talk. Drew told me we couldn't go to the island right now. What if Emily doesn't listen? Don't talk about the lobster pot now. Even Emily might not make it back. If she says she's quitting now, all those waterproof bags and stuff will be gone. Watching Emily drift away, Bree could only watch and not help. The rest of the team didn't seem to be in any hurry. I don't know if Emily's going to make it back to camp. If I have to, we'll have to send her home with flares. Emily felt her body getting colder and colder. If you keep this up, you might faint from hypothermia. She was thinking of abandoning the raft and swimming back. But now the water's so cold, and there's so little energy. It's really easy for accidents to happen. Do you think Emily will opt out of the challenge? Let's wait and see.